We cannot, however, do so at this point on the ground that the committee and or the House of Representatives, as well as any of its members, lack jurisdiction to conduct any form of trial or exercise any of its incidents. Absent such jurisdiction, any attempt to proceed in the nature of any form of trial or to invoke powers ancillary to it is unconstitutional. Consequently, the respondent puts on record her objection to any requests, motions, or similar efforts aimed at obtaining or fishing for supposed evidence through processes that necessarily presuppose the existence of lawful authority and jurisdiction under the Constitution, which in this case is absent. As timely stated in the appearance and consolidated answer both made ad cautelam, the respondent does not waive any jurisdictional or other objections she has to these proceedings, nor her right to seek the appropriate legal remedies. Nonetheless, she is prepared to meet the charges against her before the proper jurisdiction.
Thank you. We will now just open the floor to questions para hindi tayo maubusan ng oras.
Good afternoon. Hi ma'am, hi sir. I'm Camille Samontebo from TV5. Natapos na po yung hearing ng Committee on Justice and there were several motions po na natakel sa hearing where they want to issue subpoena doon sa mga ilang dokumento, kabilang sa mga financial transactions, IDR, including yung attorney po kasama doon sa pinasubpoena. Maybe just get your reaction on that. And ano po yung magiging tugon ng defense team since ito nga may mga hinihiling na yung committee na mga dokumento na mapresenta o matakil doon sa pagtingin.
Thank you. Unang-una sa lahat, I guess I'll have to address yung subpoena that was issued against myself. I will wait for the subpoena. Titingnan ko kung ano yung laman ng subpoena, but definitely I'm willing to attend. No, wala akong any intention to evade having to attend before the Committee on Justice. Although I must say, I was monitoring the hearings. In fact, that's why hindi kami nag-start until matapos yung hearings out of due respect na rin to the Committee on Justice. I was a bit surprised because I think the ground stated there was that I was the one in charge of the accomplishment reports, etc., which obviously the facts and documents would show that it was not me. But nonetheless, I don't see any point in not appearing. So I will definitely abide by the subpoena, subject to, of course, titingnan natin kung anong laman. Pagdating naman dun sa mga ibang subpoena that will be issued for the documents, I think it is our job as counsels to look first at kung ano yung scope ng subpoena and to see kung naayon ba sa batas yung pag-issue ng subpoena. Attorney Sheila, is there anything you wanted to add pa?
In addition to what Mike had said, I think the portions of the letter that I had read earlier would answer that question. So right now, what is clear is that we have questions on the jurisdiction of the committee to conduct any form of trial. And if you had noticed also from the letter, we had stated that it's not only the conduct of the trial, but also the exercise of any and all ancillary incidents to it, which includes, of course, the issuance of any compulsory process. I cannot tell you yet how the defense would meet the orders given today at the committee hearings or how we would specifically respond to those. But we are making clear that we are questioning the jurisdiction of the committee to conduct this form of trial, whether it is something that they may have or some members of the committee may have referred to as a mini trial or as a form of hearing. But we have a fundamental question on the jurisdiction, and that fact has been made clear in the letter that we had sent to the chairperson of the committee.
Last na lang po from my end. Ang clarification po ng chairperson and some members of the committee na ito daw pong ginagawa nila is like not like a mini trial but like preliminary investigation no, kung ikukumpara doon sa usual na legal process na ginagawa. At ang sabi po, para po kay Representative De Lima, parang disrespectful daw po na hindi humarap si Vice President Sara Duterte para personally ipaalam o i-lay down yung kanyang mga rason kung bakit hindi siya dadal or haharap na dito sa papel. Yun lang po. Thank you.
All right, thank you. So you have two questions, right? Number one, if you want us to act to the statement that what the committee is conducting is not a trial, but is allegedly a preliminary investigation. Number two, you also want us to react to the statement of Representative De Lima to the effect that the nuance of the response at the committee hearing today is allegedly a disrespect. Let me respond to the second one before I go to the first one. We regret that that's how the good representative feel, but we also had very clearly in our letter and with good intentions, because it is our duty as lawyer to put the defense or best defense available for our client. And at this point, we really feel or we believe that the committee really has no jurisdiction to conduct any form of trial. There was no disrespect intended because in fact, we had responded to the invitation that was extended to us, signed by the chairperson of the committee, and we had submitted this even before the committee hearing today. So we don't know, we don't understand how that could be a form of disrespect. Nonetheless, let me address your question on the statement that what is being done at the committee level is a preliminary investigation, and they may be referring to the comparison of the committee level proceeding as akin to a preliminary investigation. However, if you have taken note of the past statements by members of the committee, and this is not even something that we said or stated, the term mini trial did not come from the defense. The term mini trial came from members of the committee. And in fact, you only have to look probably in the internet or search them yourselves to know that there have been statements to this effect that what the committee will do is sort of a mini trial. And so our response to that is, given that the Constitution only vests the power and authority to conduct trial in the Senate, then the House of Representatives or any of its committees cannot do that. And I think this is very clear also in the Duterte ruling, both in the 2025 and 2026 decisions of the Supreme Court, that constitutional parameters with respect to the conduct of the entire impeachment proceedings should always be complied with, especially given that it's not only a purely political proceeding, it is also a legal proceeding. and therefore must comply with the fundamental law. And what is our fundamental law? Our fundamental law is the Constitution. You don't even have to write it in any contracts or agreements or any rules. It's deemed written in every rules, in every contract. That's how fundamental the objection of the respondent is to the committee proceedings.
Good afternoon, attorneys. Joseph Pedralfo from Manila Philippines. In asserting the unconstitutionality of the House jurisdiction over the impeachment complaint, what are we trying to achieve here po ba? Are we trying to stop the House hearing? Or have we made any legal move na ipahinto to? Or it's just a mere position ng defense team?
Well, for now, that's really the position of the defense team na unconstitutional yung nangyaring proceedings, di ba? Ngayon, ang tinitingnan natin, ang sinasabi talaga natin dito, just to simplify things, sa Constitution, very clear naman yung nakasulat. No? Number one, ang initiation ng impeachment proceedings that belongs to the House. That's an exclusive power of the House. We're not contesting that. No? But, pagdating sa trial, that power exclusively belongs to the Senate. Napaka-clear niyan. Kaya ang sinasabi lang namin dito is hindi naman pwede dito sa pag-initiate pa lang ng proceedings nagkakaroon na ng tinatawag na namin na mini trial. At again, kaklaruhin ko lang yung i-emphasize ko lang yung nasabi na ni Atty. Sheila. Hindi po sa amin ang galing yung term na mini trial. Yan po ay galing sa mga statements, no, ng either Committee on Justice or even other personalities. So hindi po sa amin ang galing yan. That's why we're contesting it. Ngayon, ano ba ang trabaho para sa amin ng Committee on Justice? At least aming pananaw. And again, with all due respect, no, to the members of the committee and the committee itself. Ang trabaho po ay to determine, sabi nga nila, kung ito ay iaakyat na sa plenaryo at iaakyat na eventually sa Senado, hindi ba? So ang parati namin sinasabi, kahit sa previous interviews ko, ang gagawin lang naman is to evaluate the complaints and the evidence at hand. No? Kung ano yung mga naka-attach na ebidensya doon sa complaint. So yung pagpapatawag ng mga witnesses and all those things and asking for documents, that goes well and beyond. Diba? Yung evaluation lang kung ito ay dapat mapunta na sa plenaryo at nang sa ganun ay maiakat na sa Senado. So sa ngayon, are we going to question this? Kasi I think that was your question talaga. Of course, that possibility is always there. Hindi ba? But hindi po na kami magsasabi ng anything categorical. Ito ay dapat pag-usapan hindi lang namin pero pati na ng aming kliyente. At titingnan natin kung anong mangyari. That's why we have been monitoring these proceedings from day one. And then we'll let you know kung meron na kaming desisyon ukol doon.
Sir, follow up na lang. Since you are acknowledging that the House of Representatives can initiate the impeachment trial, the impeachment proceedings or whatever, bakit dun po sa process na yun, we're not attending doon sa mga invitations ng House of Representatives? And follow-up is, are we surely attending the Senate hearing once it prospers, the case prospers?
Number one, dun sa tanong niyo po, it's not just we're acknowledging, no, that's clearly stated naman in the Constitution na sila talaga ang may exclusive power to initiate impeachment proceedings. Why are we not attending? I think it was clearly stated in our letter. It's because we are objecting. There's a fundamental objection to the proceedings itself because for us this goes well and beyond what is contemplated within initiation of impeachment proceedings. As to the Senate, wala pa tayo doon, no? Pero pag dumating man doon, talaga namang kami naman ready na sagutin. Parati naman natin sinasabi, ready nating sagutin ang mga alegasyon laban sa Vice Presidente sa tamang forum. And at sa atin, pagdating sa pagkakaroon ng trial, whether mini trial or full-blown trial, that is not in the House, but that's actually in the Senate. Thank you.
Work is a pain in the apps. My files are in this app. My chat's in this app. Project.
Hello, sir. Kanina po ay naglabas ng statement si Vice President Sara Duterte at sinabi nga niya na ang gagawin na pagdinig o ang isinagawang pagdinig kanina ay isang fishing expedition. Pwede po ba natin ipaliwanag to bakit ito na sabi ng PISA?
Well, again, I have to premise my answer with I'm no longer the spokesperson of the Vice President. So napakahirap naman na maglagay ng salita, no? Mag-interpret ng kanyang mga sinasabi. But at least based on our conversations, nakikita naman natin, yun naman talagang posisyon natin when you evaluate these impeachment complaints. The evaluation must solely remain with the complaints and the pieces of evidence attached, di ba? Ngayon, if you will go beyond the evidence attached and start asking for documents left and right, when our first argument nga, kung matatandaan nyo, is wala man lang ultimate facts yung complaints. No? And then yung mga naka-attach na ebidensya, wala rin naman doon na nagsasabing o nagpapatunay na may krimen na kaagad na nangyari. And so if you go beyond that, that is what we're saying na fishing expedition. No? Malamang yun na rin ang pinaparating ng ating Vice Presidente. Pangalawa, katulad ng mga issue na nilabas sa kanyang salin, doon sa desisyon ng Supreme Court sa Duterte versus House of Representatives, malinaw na nakasaad doon na ang impeachable offense ay yung mga offense na allegedly na-commit ng impeachable official within his or her term. At malinaw naman doon sa pinakita na karamihan doon sa hinihing documents ay not within his or her, within the term of the Vice President in this case. No? So, marahil doon ang gagaling ng ating Vice Presidente.
Good afternoon po, Ed Mendoza from the Manila Times. I'd just like to note lang po yung mga subpoenas regarding doon sa subpoenas regarding her salin. Congressman Rodriguez said na it's a form of fishing expedition. That's why he objected to the motion raised by the panel. Pero sa tingin niyo po ba, pwede ba muna natin sabihin na natin ma-control dito or ma-prevent itong pagkuha ng mga salin? Kasi yun nga, as Lucas Rodriguez nga, is a legal expert saying na it's a fishing expedition. And baka nga po ito sa nangyari sa Corona impeachment trial na naging fishing expedition na. So, what's your take po doon sa mga subpoena sa SAL and DPP? And pati na rin yung mga bank records na rin kay DP and kay Atty. Max Carter.
All right. I think I've made this clear. And I also, again, say that if the objection of the respondent goes into the matter of jurisdiction, meaning does the committee have any power or authority to conduct a mini trial or whatever it is that they will call it, including the examination and cross-examination of witnesses, issuance of compulsory processes for the introduction, reception, and examination of evidence. Our position has been made clear in the letter. That authority and all the incidents of that authority should only be exercised by the Senate. Because why? Again, we go back under Article 11, Section 3, Paragraph 6. It's only the Senate that can conduct trial, that can examine witnesses, that can cross-examine witnesses, that can issue subpoena for the production of evidence. In fact, if someone here earlier asked, this is akin to a preliminary investigation, you know, under the current rules of preliminary investigation and inquest proceedings, even the matter of deciding or resolving the complaint is only limited to the complaint and the counter affidavits of the respondent and other affidavits and the evidence at hand. Nothing beyond evidence at hand. And let me clarify this, because it might be that the idea that just because the respondent did not appear and sent a letter instead through the lawyers stating the reasons for non-appearance, which raises issues on jurisdiction, doesn't mean that she or us or we are just raising technical issues. Because I think every lawyer knows that the matter of jurisdiction is always substantive. Cannot even be waived, cannot even be, subject of any agreement. Once a body, once a tribunal acts beyond the powers vested in it by the Constitution, that cannot be allowed.
Last 2024, Justine Bulacito stood on stage and online as summa cum laude.
Last question na lang po from my end.
Good afternoon po. Bella Cayasa from the Philippine Star. Sir, just to be categorical about it, so may plan kayo to question unconstitutional yung proceeding sa House. So kailan kayo magdi-decide na mag-file na ng petition sa Supreme Court? And second po, ano po yung magiging action natin next? Meron bang 3 hearings pa ang House Committee on Justice? So ganito na rin po ba yung scenario natin na walang a-attend ng mga lawyers, except sabi nyo a-attend kayo dahil may subpoena kayo. Walang a-attend na lawyers and even si Vice President Sara Duterte.
Well, number one, hindi ko po sinabing may plano. Ang sinasabi ko lang po is, of course, there's always that possibility. Alam nyo, maraming nagpe-frame the past few weeks. Sinasabi, aakyat yung mga yan sa Supreme Court. As if it's a wrong thing, no? Our job as lawyers is to protect the client and the rights of the client, no, against harassment and all of these kinds of things. And sa ngayon, ang sinasabi namin is that is always a possibility. Especially since, ulitin ko lang yung sinabi ni Atty. Sheila, our objection to the proceedings is fundamental. No? Hindi to mere technicality. We are saying na ang sinasagawa ngayon ng committee, at least sa aming pananaw at sa aming posisyon, is labas na sa kapangyarihan nila dahil yung trial, mini-trial, full-blown trial is really vested upon the Senate. Ngayon, pagdating sa susunod na hearings, hindi muna kami magkokomento, ma'am, tungkol dyan. Dahil syempre, we are monitoring the developments as they come. And as lawyers, although of course, we are ready to anticipate anything and everything that comes, we are also not inclined to telegraph what we plan to do. Thank you.
Good afternoon po, Eliza Insignia from IBC News. If ever the Senate conduct the hearing, can we expect your appearance as well the appearance of VP Sara?
Again, I think our letter is clear. We cannot participate in a proceeding that we think is unconstitutional. We cannot have the Vice President appear before a body exercising a power or authority that is vested by the Constitution in another tribunal. If you notice from the letter that we sent on March 24, 2026, the penultimate paragraph of that is pretty clear that considering that the requests, motions, or similar efforts aimed at obtaining evidence through processes that necessarily presuppose lawful authority, then, which in this case we believe is absent, then we cannot participate in the proceedings. This is not even something new. This is something that every lawyer questioning the jurisdiction of the court on behalf of his or her client.
Good afternoon po. Attorney. Parang iteration na ho ng mga naunang question. So since you are not recognizing the jurisdiction of the committee,
hindi nyo po i-comply ang any subpoena na hindi expected si Vice President and you na mag-appear sa House hearings. Ano po?
Let me clarify. Kasi baka ma-misconstrue eh. What we are not recognizing is the authority or power to conduct mini trial. Now, with respect to the power of the House of Representatives to initiate impeachment proceedings, that's stated in the Constitution. We recognize that. Again, what we do not recognize is the authority to conduct any form of trial. We can't tell you yet what will happen in the next weeks until the committee has concluded its proceedings because, as you know, the committee has just finished the hearing this afternoon, and we have yet also to receive any invitation or notice for the next hearing. But what I can tell you is that every step that we will take from here on is deliberate. And those steps would be primarily to protect the interests of our client.
Attorney Powa, so to reiterate and to echo also the question of Congresswoman Lima earlier, so yung failure to attend on the Vice President and also your team, does it mean you are waiving your right to attend any proceedings? So we do not expect anyone from your team in the coming proceedings?
No, I think that's also clear from the letter. In fact, it's explicit in the letter. Let me read again. As timely stated in the appearance and consolidated answer, both made ad cautelam, the respondent does not waive any jurisdictional or other objections she has to these proceedings, nor her right to seek appropriate legal remedies. I think that's quite clear.
Appearance nor the council, hindi ba yun ibig sabihin na
Could you clarify?
questioning the jurisdiction? So
What is it that you're asking? That is the respondent waiving her right to present evidence? Of course not. Right to the proceedings.
the one raised by Congressman Dilita earlier.
No, definitely not. I think, again, the letter is clear, and our position from the start, starting from the appearance ad cautelam and the consolidated verified answer ad cautelam, up to this point when we sent the letter is clear. The Vice President is not waiving any of her rights. Now, if you're asking me, is she waiving her right to present evidence? Definitely, or participation in the proceedings, she will participate before the proper forum, before the body that has jurisdiction to try the case against her.
So yun na, hindi sa committee na to, hindi sa House just.
Yes, because again, we just have to read the Constitution. The Constitution says, Section 3, Paragraph 6, Article 11, that it is the Senate that shall have the sole power to try and decide all cases of impeachment.
Attorney Paul, when we're sending one to the whole hearing proceedings sa House meeting, how do we describe this, sir? Although kanina sinabi niyo na there are a lot of persons with the subpoena, and then documents also, like SALN and the rest of the records or other documents po. But generally, how will you describe what the proceedings that happened today? How do you, as a defense team of the Vice President?
Well, to us, really, we're questioning the proceedings themselves. No? So I don't want to try to describe it, masa-soundbite ako sa isang description. No? But really, to us, all these things go beyond the powers of initiating an impeachment complaint. And that is why we have already stated on the record our fundamental objection to the proceedings that are being conducted at the moment.
And clearly for you, it was already a mini trial. So,
Well, for us, ma'am, again, our position is that yung mini trial na salita, hindi sa amin ang galing. Yan ay galing sa ibang tao. Pangalawa, again, I like to reiterate our position. Kung ang evaluation lang na dapat gawin dito ay kung ito ay dadalhin, i-recommend, no? Na dadalhin sa plenaryo, kakaroon ng articles of impeachment that will be transmitted to the Senate, dapat ang gagawin dito, ang evaluation na gagawin dito ay limited lamang doon sa mga complaints at doon sa mga naka-attach sa complaints. Kasi doon mo malalaman kung may basihan ba talaga, kung meron ba talagang impeachable offense laban sa ating Vice Presidente.
Good afternoon, Honorable Brindes po from Net 25. Since you said a while ago po that the hearing is unconstitutional, are we consider for any legal remedies like pagtulog sa Korte Suprema po?
As I've answered earlier, that is always a possibility. We are considering all remedies.
Thank you po.
Hello, Attorney Joy po ng Mobile Philippines. Question ko lang po, magsasampu po ba kayo ng case ng abuse of authority sa ating mga opisyal ng Kamara? Kasi kanina nga po, di ba, as Attorney Season mentioned, na it's only the Senate that can conduct the trial. No? Kasi natin lamang makapag-issue ng subpoena to or on the production of evidence. And kanina, ang Representative Jokno has clearly stated na according sa ating Philippines Constitution na naglagay po siya ng articles and section that the House of Representatives has the exclusive power to initiate all cases of impeachment while the Senate naman po has the sole power to try and decide on the power of impeachment. So, pinaro niya po yun kanina, pero nagkakaroon po dito ng confusion na journalists, no? Not just sa media, but as well as sa ating mga mamayan na nakikinig at nanonood dito nga sumasabay tayo sa impeachment case.
Well, I agree with Representative Diokno na yun nga naman talagang nakasulat sa Constitution, no? That the power to initiate belongs to the House and the power to try impeachment cases belong to the Senate, di ba? And yun nga ang nagiging debate dito dahil sa aming pananaw, lumalampas na po sa initiation ang nangyayari at kung magkakaroon man ng any trial type proceeding, that should be had before the Senate impeachment, sitting as an impeachment court at hindi po sa Committee on Justice.
So, magsasapa po ba tayo ng abuse of authority sa ating mga pinakakala?
At this point, we are considering all remedies, pero ayoko pong sabihan na isasampahan ng kaso or whatnot. No? We're not in the business of trying to, threaten people with cases. Sa amin lang po, ang trabaho lang po ng mga abogado ng Vice Presidente is to protect her rights and interests. So, titingnan lang po natin kung anong mga remedy base doon sa aming fundamental objection on the constitutionality of the proceedings that are being conducted.
Hello po, good afternoon. Herlene Delgado po from ABS-CBN. Dito po sa Katanay. Hello po. I just want to get, since you've already reiterated naman po the position of the defense team, just want to get your reaction for fairness and balance. As sinabi ni Representative Louisa earlier, she quoted former Justice Tiham, and she said na failure to participate in the hearings before the Committee on Justice is tantamount to a culpable violation of the Constitution. Your direct response.
Well, first and foremost, there is no law requiring the respondent to attend the hearings or the proceedings before the Committee on Justice. I think that is clear. Hindi naman dapat natin pagdebatihan yan. In fact, the Constitution is clear also. Diba, na if you read the Constitution, wala namang nakasaad doon na talagang requiring the Vice President to attend. It's not the first time Sa ibang impeachment proceedings, hindi din naman nag-attend yung high official, no, na ini-impeach. So I don't know where that is coming from, but of course we would like to state for the record also, no, that we respect the opinions of our lawmakers, of our congressmen, whether it's against us or for us, no? And that's the nature of the proceedings, diba? Sui generis, it's legal and political. So no doubt it's politically charged and everyone will have their opinions and we have to respect everyone's opinion. But as far as we're concerned, the position is there's no rule requiring the Vice President to be present in these proceedings.
Sir Chen po from Billionaire News Channel. Can you give us an outlook na lang po? Ano yung pwede namin maasahan? Can you give us an outlook na lang po? Ano yung pwede namin maasahan sa defense team moving forward given na, yun nga, mag-issue ng subpoena. They also plan on having meetings outside of the impeachment, outside of the hearings sa co-conduct. So anong mga pwede namin i-take note at abangan from the defense team?
Simple lang naman po, that every step of the way, the defense team will ensure that we are doing our job to protect the rights and interests of our client, which is the Vice President.
One question from Attorney Michael Sheila. Your message na lang po sa public, lahat po ay nakatuon ng kanilang attention po dito sa impeachment proceedings naman kay Vice President Sara Duterte. And I remember, Attorney Sheila, last year, noong February 2025, you quoted Senator Miriam Santiago na impeachment is a dreadful process. So ano yung mensahe po natin sa publiko ngayon?
Ako na muna siguro, no? Sa akin, siguro nagpapasalamat tayo sa mga kababayan natin na patuloy na sumusuporta sa Vice Presidente. Nasabi ko nga kanina, this is highly divisive and politically charged matter, no? So, natural lang na may pagkakaiba ng mga opinion, may mga debate. For the defense team, we are here without any intention to debate with anyone. No, we are here to just lay down our position. But at the same time, we would like to state again that we respect the opinions of even those whose positions are adverse to ours. No? Siguro ang gusto ko lang linawin is parati kasing nasasabi na hindi sumasagot ang ating Vice Presidente. Hindi po totoo yun. In fact, as early as last year, tuon pa lang sa first round of impeachment, nasabi na ng ating Vice Presidente na handa siyang sumagot sa harap ng tamang forum. No? Lahat ng itong mga aligasyon na binabato sa kanya. That is also included in the letter that we submitted yesterday. At siguro ang pinaka-importante, let's not blur our legal system, diba? Ayon sa legal system natin, the burden of proof is actually on the accusers. Doon sa mga nag-a-allege na may ginawa siyang impeachable offense, the burden of proof lies with them. No? Dapat pakita muna nila na matibay ang kanilang mga ebidensya. And again, the evaluation should be limited to the complaints that they submitted, their allegations in those complaints, and the pieces of evidence attached to those complaints. So again, hindi sumasagot ang Vice Presidente. Handa po sumagot ang Vice Presidente at handa po ang defense team na ipagtanggol ang Vice Presidente sa harap ng tamang forum para dito. Thank you.
Perhaps my message is, it's the same thing. We appreciate the role that the media has in terms of providing our public with good information. By good information, I mean something that is not only plucked from the mouth of a person, but something that invites some meaningful discussion about the issues, about the processes, about what we could expect moving forward as a nation. But my main message would probably be something that I would borrow from the case of Francisco versus Gutierrez, because I think it encapsulates everything that we need to know in respect of the protection and respect for an individual's rights. in that case, the Supreme Court said that the respondent, or just because former Chief Justice Davide is the Chief Justice, does not imply that he gets to have less in law than anyone else. And the reason is very simple. It's because the Constitution and the law are mindful of every individual's rights, regardless of his or her station in life.
Attorney Paul, if you don't want to describe the proceedings earlier, what then is your reaction to the whole?
On behalf of the impeachment defense team, we take